Up. Okay. Another day, another video, eh, Maisie? What's going on, guys? It's Adam Wayfair, and in today's video, we've got a guest. This is Maisie, our next door's dog. Actually, this is the dog that we're looking after for a week, and it's really nice having a dog. To be fair, we live in the countryside, so we can go on nice long walks. And she gets us out, you know, and it's raining currently, so it's just nice chilling. She's really well behaved. And my niece was just here. If you didn't know, I'm an uncle now, and she's adorable. But Maisie was really good. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how, in my opinion, the music industry, specifically in the UK, has fallen off. Let's talk about it. So I've actually made a video like this probably about 10 years ago. I said the music industry has gone to shit, and I think that was when Miley Cyrus was naked on a wrecking ball. So that brings back memories, ones I didn't want to remember. 10 years later, we're in a different sort of place in the music industry. Now, what's a good thing about it is there's lots of new artists, and there's lots of really good artists out there that are up and coming, and it's kind of easier for artists these days to break through. You know, we've got social media platforms, we've got TikTok, which is a really great way of discovering new artists, and equipment is cheaper. You can record stuff from your home. You know, you can make your own music videos, you can make your own, you know, documentary style videos. More people are inclined to be taking the creative route than before, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Now, I'm going to go into the reasons why. Come on, sit down, chill. Oh, yes. I'm going to go into the reasons why I feel like the music industry has fallen off and how it can probably get back to its prime. And I've been observing the market, I've been observing the music industry for a while now. Obviously, I'm an avid listener of music. I love the old school stuff, like Pink Floyd. I like any music that have real instruments and real voice and real stories and real depth to them. And I come from a musical background. My dad is a flautist. He has about 8 albums. But I'm not a Nepo baby or a Nepo baby. What are they called? I'm not. I wish I was, purely because it's really hard to get opportunities. But I became a videographer. So I actually like doing videos rather than music. So I didn't have any sort of shortcuts to any industry I'm in. I sort of paved the way myself, which I'm proud of. It's actually a really good feeling being able to sort of trial and error your own life and execute your ideas and dreams and be able to achieve them. And that's what I've been able to do, which I'm really proud of myself. And also I'm an author now, got my own book, haven't I, called The Seed, the System and You, which is over here if I can reach without, oh, where have you gone? Oh, there you are. Yeah, here we go. The Seed, the System and You. Have you read it? But this is my book, which you can read if you want, link in the description below. But I'm not going to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the music industry, aren't we, Maisie? Hey? So the music I like has some sort of depth. You know, we all love stories where you can tell someone's telling the truth. You can tell someone's been through what they're singing about. They've been through what they're rapping about. And it sort of makes you feel like, wow, this person's turned their pain into purpose. And turning pain into purpose is the number one thing that I have to give props to, is if someone's been through something and they're able to articulate it without causing more pain, they create art. And what you're seeing is there's a lot of artists these days that are making up a story to create that purpose, which is fair enough if you don't actually, I'm not saying you have to go through a lot of trauma to be an artist, but the best art does come from pain, and it does come from trauma, and it does come from being able to alchemize your experiences and turning them into something that is less harmful than what's happened to you, basically. Now, I'm not saying that everyone has to go through something to become an artist, but the best artists in the world have been through stuff. If you've ever seen the difference between someone who hasn't been through anything and someone who has been through something, bless you. Isn't that true, eh? The art is normally better. And it's not because we need artists to be struggling, it's the fact that artists create something out of the struggle. Now, everyone struggles, no one's struggle is bigger than anyone else's. No one's struggle is, it's all relative. Everyone feels things differently, You can't just say, well, that person's been through more things, so they have more right to feel a certain emotion. Where someone might grieve over a fly dying today, it might be the same amount of emotional turmoil as someone's pet dying. It's honestly subjective to how much people feel. But going on to that, how much people feel, there's a lack of depth in the music in this day and age because we're focused on numbers and algorithms and metrics rather than wanting to sort of actually go through anything and then speak about the struggle in a way that can be related back to the audience. Instead, what we're doing nowadays is picking other people's struggles and then sort of turning it into music just because other people are struggling through that thing. So, if I was to do an example now, I could make a song about it raining in Britain, and I know that will do well because it always rains. Most people in Britain have seen rain and it's relatable. So I could be like, oh, it's raining outside and I don't want to go outside no more. The rain might mess up my hair and I've just done it no more. No, you see, that's a relatable song, and I know it was amazing, so stop telling me it is. It takes a true artist to sort of take the obvious and turn it into something that isn't too obvious. So you could talk about the rain, but in a less obvious way. So it's like, these thoughts have been pouring down on my head, and I don't want to get out of bed. Do you know what I'm saying? I am just saying that I'm a true artist and I should be doing all the music. No, but the thing is, the music industry just lacks depth based off the fact that it's quite churnable these days. Our attention spans are shorter because of social media platforms just going, short form instead of long form. So no one really cares about the long form process. And I don't really blame the artists as much, So there are a lot of artists out there who have a lot to say, who have genuine talents and have, genuine bands and creations and have studied the art and craft for over 10 years. And that's the struggle in itself. It doesn't have to be an actual, a family trauma or a personal trauma. It can be the fact that you haven't been heard or listened to in years and you've made music and you want your stuff heard. That can cause a lot of mental trauma in itself. That can cause a lot of anger and a lot of mistrust in industries if you put in the work and you're not getting seen, and other people who are just viral are getting seen in itself. So that can cause a lot of issues. But there are a lot of people who have good music and who have good stuff, but it's the way the industry's ran right now is on how quick we can make money off someone and then move on to the next thing. And if that person can't come up with trends after trend after trend, then you have to find someone else. Time's ticking. And the thing about processing emotions is it takes time. So to churn out good stuff, you have to process your life. You have to process what you want to rap about or write about or sing about. You can't just churn out stuff really quickly. And the issue is with TikTok is because you're trying to get people's attentions off their scrolling pattern. You have to try and get them at a hook. And hooks have become dominant. So it doesn't matter about the rest of the song. As long as you get a good hook, then you're on a clear run for a bit until people get bored, and then it's on to another hook. So we're literally fishers right now. We're fishing. So we're fishing. We got our fishing hook, and we put a bit of a teaser on a bit of a hook here, and we throw that hook into the ocean, and hoping that a load of fish might see that bait, but they might not bite at the bait. That's the issue, is that you're only getting one bite at the bait because there's only enough bait for one bite, because it's just a hook. It's not built for the mass, or it's not built for longevity. It's just built for a nibble, and not a whole meal. So it's just a nibble, not a whole meal. And the issue is that we're getting a load of artists to just, sit on their fishing rod and then just throw out a hook, throw out a piece of bait, and then quickly reel in the line, as quick as you can to try and get some bait. And you're trying to catch a fish to consume something. Oh, I've got a fan. There you go. You're trying to quickly reel in the line. Instead of just leaving, it out there in the ocean for fish to enjoy, you're quickly trying to reel in the line and then sell that fish off to someone else, aka the label, so they can do whatever they want with the fish. Like, now we've got nice statistics, we've got your audience, we've got your fan base. Now feed them all of this merchandise, music, tapes, vinyls that are multicoloured. Do you know what I mean? Tickets, overpriced tickets, you know, and the fish can barely walk. So it's a model, it's a business, you know, and the issue with business is it corrupts everything. You know, business is never personal, and we need more personal than business in this day and age. If people were to look at the playing field as just, okay, what art do I want to give out to the world, instead of it being business, then life would be easier for everyone, the artist and the consumer. But this is the argument where the rich are all dominating the arts because they have the time to pay rent, they have the time to go to studios, they have the time to get producers, they have the time for the equipment. And it's a fair point. But, you know, there's the saying where it says all the gear, no idea. And a lot of this is happening. You know, they don't really have the idea, they don't have the ideas, they have the money. But whereas the people from working class backgrounds, or even people from any background that have the gift, you know, they're the chosen select few that have the art of it, born with it, they know what to do with it. You know, they're getting sort of pushed aside, but they have the struggle. So, you know, they have the actual oomph, and they actually have the pain and the passion to sort of execute what they want to get out there, and it feels more raw, it feels more authentic, you know. And that's where we're seeing the rise of someone that's authentic rather than someone who's got all the gear and all the contacts, because it's another battle, you know. Like, we have Lola coming up with, so I'm too messy and I'm too fucking clean. You told me get a job and asked where the hell I've been. Do you know what I mean? And that's like relatable to everyone. It's like we've all been through that scenario, you know. I'm too messy, now I'm too clean. You told me get a job, where have I been? Just smoking too much weed, you know, I'm drinking too much, and now I'm lean. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's not the lyrics, but that's sort of what you could add on. But it's sort of how we all feel right now. It's like, I can't buy a house because I'm getting underpaid. The government are keeping us all slaves. You know, it's like, and people are like, yeah, that is it. Viva la revolution. Do you know what I mean? So the people that are just haven't got the flashy things, we're more interested in realness and rawness, you know. It's like, I haven't changed my socks today, but I'm still going to go out and play. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have washed my socks today, by the way. But we're wanting raw authenticity rather than these hooks that aren't true. So you'll get a load of, like, you know, gangsters in the music industry, and they're all, you know, sort of saying like, I was on the road since I was 2. And like, that's mad. That's a mad statement. That's a mad statement. Do you know what I mean? So you're sort of shock factored now. So we have, you know, to get people's attentions, we're either doing honesty or shock factor. So it's like, I used to have my cereal with water, and you're like, that's mad. Not relatable, but that's mad. I feel for you, so I'll listen to the rest of it. But then it's just creating, like, people are just throwing out random stuff. Even the drill artists, fair play, they're in a different bracket. I'm not even going to try and send for them because protection. But, you know, most of them are saying what they've actually lived through, and that's fair play. It's like a sort of therapy for them, you know. And music is a sort of therapy, you know. You're offloading your brain. You're trying to articulate your stuff in a way that can be sort of enjoyed, but also you're letting things out your head. That's why when I wrote my book, it's not just to do with me, but it has, you know, my stories in there, and it sort of has my humour in there, because it was good to just sort of let it all go out of my head, because I felt pressurised with having all this information in my head and I wanted to get it out. So it's the same with writing songs, is you end up, when you start writing, you're like, oh wow, I actually really want to talk about this, and you end up start talking about goldfish that died 10 years, or heartbreak you had when you were in school, you know, and then you're like, wait, that's not relatable though, is it? And then it might be, and then you turn it into a song. But there's a whole process of being an artist and creators. It's alchemizing your experiences into something that you think people will like, or if you like to listen yourself. But the thing is, that's all sweet and fine, but it's just, we always have a level of corruption where it's people charging too much money. You know, it's a business again. You know, people have got to get their bills paid. Or there's another industry where it's just gate kept. So there's just, artists only work with producers they know, producers only work with artists they know, and the labels only work with those producers, and the label only works with those artists. So it's all sort of like a clique, and it's all just friends singing together, kumbaya, holding hands, and the money circles through a little group, and they're all in contracts, so it's all sort of, the money just washes between them all. And people outside of that system, outside of those groups, can't get invited. You know, the award shows, everything else. But this has happened for years, centuries, generations. It's always happening. It's not something new. But it's a good conversation. You know, if people in the comments want to talk about their opinion on the industry, please do. We'll have good conversations. I don't claim to know everything. I don't want to be that guy who knows everything. But I want to be someone who expresses their opinion and says what they notice, because I've noticed a few things. And I've done my own fair bits of music, if you didn't know. I've got a SoundCloud where I did a bit of rapping. I released a EP, and I think I did all right, you know, as in, not in terms of numbers, but in terms of the quality. I did it myself, no producer, no studio. I made the music videos myself, and it was really fun to do. I really enjoyed it. But what I noticed is that you can be really good. You can get your stuff out, you can get the marketing out, but if you're not involved in the industry, they say about it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's true. It's the same with YouTube career, it's the same with film, you know, being an actor, it's the same with TV, it's the same with music. It's just how the systems are run. But the reason everything's crumbling right now is because everything's gate-kept. People are scared that someone else is going to take their job, or someone else is going to take their rankings, or someone's going to be on the charts higher than them, and it's an ego-based game. You know, it's all ego-based, all ego-dominant. Every single industry is just ran by egotistical, narcissistical personality traits, and most of them have ADHD, so they're just running around like, I don't care about you, I just need to get my mind off the fact that I'm a nutter. Do you know what I mean? So it's a childish game. It's a childish game, and I feel like the way you can see how things would work better is if you go to different parts of the world, outside of the Western bubble, and you'll realise people just make music to enjoy it, you know. And I feel like the way that the world's going to work better is if instead of just looking for music to be your number one source of money, you need to find other things you like doing and then do it at the same time. So you can't be looking for this like exit check straight away, like, oh, I need 100 grand from a label, I'll be sweet. Like, they'll keep you as a slave. You don't need that sort of pressure. You just need to work a normal job, keep your humbleness, and work up and get your portfolio going. You don't need the top equipment, the top producers, the top music videos, charging 10 grand for all this stuff. You just need to build up your portfolio and build up, you know, your music catalogue. And then over time, those things will come naturally when you're ready. But people at like 18, 19, 20 plus are trying to get so much money so they can just rent places ludicrously, fuel their drug habits and their drink habits, and then just carry on just doing it like that instead of like having less and gaining more later. Like, if you can't even be sober whilst doing all this, you're never going to be a superstar. It is that simple. Superstars fumble just because they have habits to sort of pay for. And one thing I've noticed ever since I've been teetotal is just how much the vulnerable crowd of creatives are just, you know, drugged out and alcoholics. And it's not to say that, you know, people can't enjoy a dabble here and there, and that I haven't indulged myself. I mean, I've got sesh on my arm. I was obviously a little sesh head back in the day, and that didn't mix out well with the YouTube career. You know, having lots of money, fame and attention was what artists want, and I had all that, plus, you know, access to everything I needed and I wanted, and it was a nutty experience. You can't have longevity because life is better when it's peaceful, not chaotic. But when you're younger, you're chasing the chaos rather than the peace. And it just doesn't work out. So the best advice I could give is that when you quit all of these substances and you can understand your brain, you actually work better from a clear mind and clarity than if you're chasing highs all the time. So you're chasing highs of a viral video, you're chasing highs of a viral song, you're chasing highs of an email from a label, you're chasing high because you're going to go to LA and they're going to fly you out. You're chasing highs because you're working with your favourite artist. It's a game of chasing highs. It's not a game of who's got the best music. It's a game of chasing highs. And, you know, it's not sustainable. It's been proven before. This is why a lot of people in music industries have killed themselves. It's because it's not sustainable. It's too much pressure, too soon, too fast. And if you can work on yourself first whilst getting your catalogue up and getting your music out there, you're going to be so ready and prepared for the big stage at one point in your life. And I believe in divine timing. Everything happens for a reason at the right time. But we're all trying to go through the floodgates now. You know, if we're all horses and we're all lined up to go on a race, You're there darting before the gates open. You bash yourself into the gate and you're like, what's happening? Why didn't I go through it? Why can't I win? It's because you're all dizzy. Dizzy with validation, dizzy with instant gratification, and it's not going to work out. So the music industry needs to just slow down. The longevity game, like how it used to be back in the day, 5-year, 10-year plan instead of like okay, today might be the day I go viral on TikTok. What can I do today or tomorrow? And I don't blame them. Like labels these days and execs and A&Rs are all like, all right, how many followers do you have? We don't care about your music. How many followers do you have? And that's a really corrupt way of doing it. But they're trying to make money. So my best advice would be to slow down and try and connect to your true inner voice. You know what to do. You know what to rap about. And the industry knows what it needs. But I feel like the world just needs to sort of calm down. We're all very hyper, especially after certain events. And we sort of, we need that instant fix all the time. Scroll, scroll, scroll. That's a good song. Okay, cool, next. Now I'm watching a potato. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? The world has changed. And also the same with YouTube. I mean, we used to watch Chubby Bunny challenges. And now we're just watching who's got £1 million every 5 minutes. It's like, it's boring. It's exhausting. I feel like there will be a change. Long form content coming back round. And music, we hopefully can go back to the roots of things and start talking about things that matter, things that actually mean something, things that give us goosebumps again, rather than like dopamine hits. But I have faith. Again, just like I was saying about the country in my last video, the music industry, every industry has to shuffle up the cards again. We're getting to the end of this late stage capitalism where everything's monetized, everything's fast, everything's trying to get attention, hooking in. And I ain't no Captain Hook. I'm bored of being Captain Hook. I don't need to hook no more. We need to just put down all of that fast gratification and just slowly start validating ourselves, like what we already have, appreciating our families, appreciating nature, appreciating the craft, appreciating our talents, our strengths, rather than our weaknesses, and talking about our weaknesses in songs all the time, because it's not keeping us in a high vibration. It's lowering the population's vibration, just whinging about heartbreaks, whinging about what we're insecure about, whinging about all of these things going wrong. We need to start being in alignment with where we want to go. And we can't reach these destinations if we're still complaining about the things. We're coming from a place of lack. We've got to realise how abundant we are and how grateful we should be for the opportunities that we have. Even, in history, we've come so far. The fact that we can even make YouTube videos and music from our homes and stuff is wild. Absolutely wild. So if you're an artist out there, keep to your craft. Don't stress about the numbers. Don't worry about comparing. Don't worry about no labels like signing you on. There's no one outside of you that can give you what you want. You have all the answers. You are strong. You have the ideas. Just execute them. You got to just do something. If you don't know what to do, just do one thing. Just make some movement. Create something on your phone. Record it anywhere. Post it online. But make sure it's not just for hooks, because you've got to follow it up. If you go viral and you don't have anything else to back it up with, you're going to fall off. And it's not easy. It's not an easy place to be. You don't want just one viral song, because you need 4 more for the rest of your life. You need every single year. You need something to follow up. Otherwise, you'll get forgotten about. So make sure to put in the groundwork. Make sure to know what you want to do and who you are and where you want to go, and plan it out 5 years, 10 years in the future. Also ask yourself, if you were to go viral today, would you be happy about it? What would change? What would you get from it? And then see yourself in those shoes, and then what would you do with those opportunities? And then make sure you can plan that out, because if it does happen accidentally over a random video, it's just a long day. The music industry has fallen off, but it's not over yet. It always falls off, so we can all pick it up, reshuffle the cards and play Uno again. Uno, bingo. All right, I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.